In about 45 minutes, you're going to want to read all this stuff. So I'm going to bring it closer. And I'm going to put it at the very end, too. Greetings and welcome to Smartwatch Ticks. We're a YouTube channel on the web at smartwatchticks.com. This is an incredible day. We are going to unveil something that may be the game-changing shifter in the Android smartwatch arena. And it goes back, 7 months ago. There's a little saga I'm going to tell you about as we get into this incredibly tight packaging here. It begins with a little-known watch called the Janus, which was hiding, I believe it was on eBay or something like that. And I decided, I got to bring that one in for review. So I ordered one, I got it. Well, you guys know the rest of the story. Not only was the Janus itself a hit, it got reproduced as the Cospet Vision. It came out in a slightly different version as a Z-Blaze Thor 5 Pro. It's been an X360, an X361. It's been all kinds of different things. Well, that was then, and this is now. That Janus watch really turned everything on its ear and led to some incredible stuff. It also led to me meeting up with Jason, who lives in Shenzhen, which is where all these are made in China. He's an American. He's a pilot for a company that flies folks around over there. So he's all over the place, actually. Was recently, I think, back in New York and Texas and then back to China. I mean, wow, what a life. But he and I started chatting, and we both agreed there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better watch. There's got to be something that doesn't have a flat tire in the screen, but the screen's a little larger. There's got to be something that's got camera placement that makes sense instead of the weird stuff we've been seeing. Well, all that, and 7 months later, what we've got, I know, open it already. All right, 7 months later, we have right here, are you ready? The Genesis. Yes. Oh, I love this packaging. I've not seen any of this. Jason's been taking care of all of it in China. Just the basic stuff is what I knew that this watch was going to have. And here we are. Wow. First front-facing 12 o'clock scenic camera smartwatch. You know what that means? When you have the watch on your arm, the camera's not here pointing at your hand, but is here pointing. Well, you're going to see 4G, 32 gig, 3 gigabytes, great. The 1.6-inch reflective screen with no flat tire. The Android 7.1 Bluetooth, 8 megapixel scenic, the sideways kind, and 5 megapixel video chat forward facing. An 800 milliamp hour battery, which is that sweet spot. You know, we've seen some that have been really large, but it makes thick and heavy, and some that are just too small to power them. May include wireless earbuds with 3,000 milliamp hour charger. Depends on the model you purchase. Ooh, that's a cute little treat. Let's open the box. Oh, I got it upside down. Oh, look at there. There's some pictures of it. Wow, KronosBlade, Genesis evolution of smartwatch. Yeah, okay. Here we go. Bubble wrap. More bubble wrap. Whoa, there it is. You can't even see it all on the camera. I think this must be that wireless earbud power bank thing. Yeah. Oh, sweet. That's in here. There's the watch. This looks like an What? I have 3 bands, man. Look at this. Black leather, brown leather. Awesome. And then the watch with a breathable, soft texture. Really nice pre-installed band. We've got the charging port here. A bump on the side. There's your SIM card slot. Here's a cover on the diodes for heart rate. Button, camera. Now, the buttons are usually on the right, which means, and this was something we discussed long and hard, We want the forward-facing camera out of the way of your hands, not up at the top, not definitely here where you go to touch your watch and you're covering the image that's being taken here. You want to see the amazing camera they're talking about? There it is. Look at this. It's hiding on the top. It shoots over the band that will be curling around your arm. And it's going to shoot straight out so you can look at the time, and the camera is going to be pointed landscape at whatever view is in front of you. It's not going to be bumping into your arm if you flex it up. It's going to be exactly where it always should have been since the first time they invented these darn things. It's there now. Okay, I'm getting excited. Let's look at what else we've got. In the bottom of the box, we've got the charging. Wow. Uh-oh. Mine's got an open. But you know, what it does is it shows you that there's an extra battery in here and the charging dock itself. Okay, well, first prototype off. It snaps in place, so it probably needs a little bit of glue. I'm sure yours will come totally secure, but that's awesome. We got to see that. So we place this in here, cut out for the camera. Look at that. Got a little blue light is lighting up on it already when you've got it set up for charging. Oh, did you see? It's like out of energy, but when we charge it, notice no flat tire. Oh, there's so many things about this. I'm not even sure how all this works, but this looks like it's got a built-in little battery for it. There's a button here. There's a red light. It's apparently charging from this right now without it being hooked up at all. Many ways of getting extra power to this thing. That's awesome. And then, of course, you got this that you can use to charge everything. Finally, the last box. We open this to reveal. Aha, yep, the USB. A USB cable. I'm getting ahead of myself again. There's the USB cable that can be used from whatever to a micro USB that will plug into somewhere here to charge this thing. Where do you charge this? Okay. And you've got this that you can use as a separate charging cable. So you got the charging cable, you've got the charging dock here. Aha! I found it. I couldn't leave without showing you guys the charging dock, the little lip thingy here, and the connector that slides right into it. Plug it in, charge this up, set your watch on it, you're good to go. But wait, there's more. One more thing in here. Ear pads for the earbuds. You notice in this initial version that I have in front of me, there's no manual to describe how anything works. That, I'm sure, will be coming. This is solid. There's no hidden pockets here. And this is loose, but there's nothing underneath it. So we're going to put things together here, break it all down, and show you a bit more about the brand new dual camera 3 gigabyte, 32 gigabyte Genesis. It's here. It's really here. Oh, I just had a really great, really long call with Jason, and there's way more going on here than you can imagine. First of all, yes, this is a prototype. I want to show you an amazing creative face on it right now. We're going to go through some of the stock faces. They're not stock yet, but they're going to be. Because, turns out, Jason is working together with Alrod. We've seen a lot of Alrod's faces. And he's been customizing faces for the Genesis. So that's the first bit of news. Second, yeah, this is a prototype. He's only got a very few of these initial ones in. The production is just beginning. This prototype is here in my hands in the United States. There's an identical one to this one in Australia right now with the firmware expert, Pablo11, he goes by on the fullandroidwatches.com website, fullandroidwatch, not plural.com, who's been coordinating and working in the background on a lot of the firmware aspects of this. In fact, he and I ended up getting involved with Jason way back with the Janus, and it's because of the Janus that was introduced that there's a lot of features you see on the Cospet Prime, Optimus Pro, the Z-Blaze watches that are at the very root of the Okay, I'll keep moving on. At the very root of the firmware in these things that is leading into the Genesis now. They're all intertwined, and Jason has managed to assemble the team of folks that it's needed to make the best watch ever. Here it is, branded with Genesis on it. This is closest to the Genesis creation of the universe kind of a concept. I think you can tell, well, maybe not right here with the reflections, but this is a special screen. The two features of this watch that really highlight this one are the transflective or reflective screen that allows you to take it outdoors in the bright sunlight and it's still visible. That is perfect as a camera watch, which is the second thing. The placement of the camera moved from the side to the top. I know, I've mentioned it. I'm going to harp on it because really that is a game changer for smartwatches, Android smartwatches in the future. The front camera being moved away from over here to the left-hand side when you have it on, that's the last place you're going to cover the lens if you're working with your watch while you're talking or doing whatever you're doing. So that placement, transflective screen, that is the amazing features of this watch. In addition, the watch faces have active complications. No, that's not something that's a bowel issue. It's about buttons on the screen. And Alrod has redesigned this particular face custom for this watch to take advantage of touch points. So when I touch this spot, for example, it goes right into the fitness program. You can begin your run or your walk or whatever you want to do. Touch here on the little sunshine and it'll take you right into the weather forecast. Touch here, Monday the 27th, and it's going to take you right into the Google Calendar, which you can set up, tie into your account, see all of your appointments, make changes right from your watch on the Google Calendar. Touch down here where the hands are covering the heart rate, and you turn on the diode, and it'll start monitoring your heart rate. So you got activation of fitness, activation of heart rate, calendar information, and more. I just want to get a heartbeat for you, show you that it's working. I got the tip of my finger right now covering the diode. There we go. And come back here. That's been updated, I believe. You've got digital time here, analog time there. That's where you got into our fitness stuff. And you see the little propeller twirling around on this one? What did I say? It's a camera watch, right? Well, how about launching the camera directly from here? There is the top-facing camera. Do it over here on the side. You can see a little bit better what it looks like. High resolution, 8 megapixels. It's the highest resolution that we can get on a smartwatch these days. There, I just took a picture. Switch this around, and now I'm in the front-facing camera. And of course, it's over here because normally I'd have it on like that. But check this out. I can move my hands all over here and I'm not covering the lens. That's what I'm getting at. With it on my arm, it's going to be way over to the left. So it's going to work really, really great. How do the pictures look? I know I'm jumping all over. They look really good. Here you go. Here you go. That's what we've seen out of these cameras. But when you go into outdoor photography, here's an example yesterday that I shot. In the car, Mrs. Tick's driving, shooting out the window, going about 30 miles an hour. I want you to see the clarity of this. Yeah, it does not support the pinch and zoom. I knew you were going to ask me that, but it does do the triple tap that you can get in here. You've got nice colors. When you're taking the pictures outdoors, you don't see the colors. You see basically a black and blue, black and white image. But the colors are all being recorded when you take the picture with the camera. You're just being able to frame your shot outside in the bright sunlight. Indoors like this, like right now, you'll definitely see the colors. Here's another one. Little fun fruit stand. Sukhothai Cafe. Yeah. And on and on and on. I got a bunch of pictures in here. In terms of details on this, it is shooting a 2448 by 3264 multiply it out, you're getting an 8 megapixel landscape view image from the top of the watch. Ideal. Perfect. Now, back here to the watch faces. And here's a fun one from Alrod. This is a digital watch with a focus on heart health and what looks like an EKG. It's animated, of course, across the top, but it's an active button that when you touch it is going to take you directly into the heart rate, if you get the exact spot. And of course, it's doing it again. Get your heart rate, come back here, that'll be updated, and you've got an easy way to monitor your heart health while you're out doing things, and you'll see it outdoors, which is what's ideal. And yeah, this particular face is focused for that. Here's another one I really like. It looks like a regular analog face, but check out the 10 and 2 positions. That's the digital time. Branded Genesis with our power level, everything. Really great stuff. So, jumping a little forward now, got more information about this charging dock, which turns out to be really incredible. Not only, as you saw earlier, can I drop it in here and charge the watch directly from it, but I can wear it. Yeah, I'm going to see if I can do this. First time I've tried this, I'm going to set this on my arm. I'm going to drop the watch into it like so. I'm going to reach around and I can put the thing on. It's now locked into the dock. I just pick a hole toward the outside here because it's going to be a little tight. There we go. Wow. You see it automatically turned on and it's fully charged, so I've got the 4 diodes going. Yesterday I tried running the watch completely down. I mean to 0, it had shut off. This was fully charged. I put the watch in the charger. 30 minutes later, this was down to 1 diode lit. This was charged to 32%. So you get about a third of a charge in a half an hour from the dock. And he designed this thing. And by the way, this is not a micro USB. This is a USB-C. So he's using the new advanced technology. He's got it set up so that if you want to go intravenous, you can plug that into your IV and you can be fed all your nutrients electronically. Seriously, if you got this thing going and you're doing whatever you're doing at your desk or something and you want to give it a quick charge, you just plug this, there you go, into your basic USB. This thing, being fully charged now, is recharging both the watch and the bank from here. If you happen to deplete that and deplete that, you got this thing, 3,000 milliamp hour. Beautiful design, little awkward, but if you've got one of these watches that only lasts for 5 hours or so and it's dead, this is a great solution. So very impressed with what he's come up with in a design that should definitely, be patented, I would think. Oh, and speaking of patents, here's a fun thing. Little fun fact. Let's show you another face. This is cool. This is Alrod's mirror face that looks this way and that way. So if you're really inclined to want to wear it on this side, or if you're wearing the watch the other way, doesn't matter which way you put it, this face will give you the time and you don't have to read it upside down. So that suddenly makes this watch totally universal, this little face. And I got to remember, I'm so used to having the camera on the right from all of the companies that have put it out that way, but it's on the left on this one. This, I think I mentioned it, but I didn't really show you. Honestly, if you have a watch with it like this, some people have really had problems banging it into their wrist when they lift it up. Not to mention, you get in the way when you're touching over the camera lens. This is so much better to have it on the left. And the watch face, this particular watch face can flip either way. Okay, let's spin around here with a fun little fidget spinner that gives you the time, Genesis, power level, just a playful one as we move into the next thing. Power. Power is always a big concern. It has been from the very get-go. And this is a balanced approach to using a reasonable battery in here, not to trying to cram 3,000 milliamps into a watch. It's got about an 800, 760, something like that, milliamp hour battery. About the same battery we saw inside this one that's in the watch. So they're comparable. However, you've got this really fun power savings thing. When you press and hold on the button here, and just again for you newbies to this that don't know about Android watches, you've got a circle up here. When you touch that, it changes to a square. And if you hit cancel, when you go into an app, and we'll look at all the apps later, that app will change from filling the circle to being in a square. So classic example is Google Play Store, where the menu, to get to your current apps and stuff, installed apps, is off the screen. That will make it rectangular. You can tap right on the menu. You can tap here again, change it back, hit cancel, and you're back full screen. So really, really valuable thing. But this is what I want to show you, is this power save. Yeah, you've seen this on other watches, but it's been improved and worked on here. When I tap this, I'm in this mode. You notice it kind of went down in brightness just a little bit. And if I hit cancel, I go into an ambient display. Now it's showing digital time and power level, and that's all. And folks, this will last forever like this. So if you're all jonesing out there that you don't have an always-on ambient mode screen on this watch, and if you listen to my other videos where you do have that kind of thing on a Thor 5 Pro, but when you run it in ambient mode, the watch lasts only 5 hours before it dies, even if you're not doing anything at all with it, just running the display. Well, you know there's a balancing act between having an ambient display and power. Well, this is the best of both worlds, because this will, it'll go for hours and only lose maybe 5-10% of power. And it stays on for a good long time. You can press the bottom button, watch carefully, and the screen dims even more. Yeah, now it's in that zone where if you're outdoors and you did that and you did that and you're just looking at the time and you got the sun reflecting off of it, man, you got yourself one great watch with significant power savings capabilities. To get out of it, you just simply press here and hit the power thing again. It comes back to the main screen, and now you can cancel out of that and you're back to your normal display. It's a little dimmer now because it's modified your brightness. So I'm going to raise the brightness for being indoors because you went into power savings, and the screen light is one of the biggest power drains. So this automatically takes care of all of that. It lowers the CPU. It gives you a nice digital display. You get long life. And if it's not long enough, well, you just saw how we can charge this thing sitting on your arm or sitting on your desk. By the way, if you want to get extra one of these, you can. Jason's going to have those. Jason's going to have extras of this, the earbuds, which I haven't really talked about yet either. This is included in the package for those of you that are pre-ordering now, and I'm going to tell you at the very end what that's all involved, okay? Wow, we haven't even taken the tape off of it to charge the buds. This is so cool. He's got it all set up for this. He's used these extensively. He says went through 5 different sets, worked with them for a couple of months each, and zeroed in on this one for its size, its quality, and the big battery inside of it for charging the watch as well. Anyway, as you saw in the box, this is going to be included, and it's got that little space for it right up here with his logo on it. It's going to be included in the package that he'll be sending out in the first production run for those of you pre-ordering. After that, you can pay extra to have it in the package, or you can buy the whole watch itself without it. But either way, the price that you're going to be able to get it for right now, $150. Okay, I'll tell you right up front, he's launching this thing for a 45-day window at $150. Then it jumps up to $185. And that's all going to include the earbuds. Later on, when all that's gone, the first run's done, these will be available as an add-on for $40 more on top of the $185, and $25 extra for another charger. So your best bet, if you like this thing, is to pre-order it for sure, because that's going to get you the best deal possible. Oh, and I was mentioning about patents, I think, which is why you're not going to see knockoffs of this thing like you did the Janus. I mean, once the Janus got going and everybody jumped on it, I think there's still another one coming out from Lympho that's going to be pretty much identical to all the other ones with the side camera. You're not going to see front-facing cameras on every other company because when we talked about patents, Jason patented this design in China. Now, we know from reading that China isn't necessarily the best at sticking with copyrights and honoring those around the world, but it turns out if it's copyrighted in China, it is. They don't violate the copyrights of Chinese copyright. Anyway, just know that this KronosBlade Genesis is going to be the first, for a long time, the only. Another watch face for you. This one I really like. This is so cool. This has got that flip card kind of thing. It's got heart rate and step count and power and date and all of that. Just another way of displaying time on these. And we went through with Alrod and looked at all his premium faces and picked out the ones that not only look really good on this watch, but also look really good outdoors in the bright sunlight too. So we have covered a lot. Let's just go through the general operations of the watch. As you know, when you pull down, you get these different screens. There's your power level. This is all Android 7.1.1 stuff. You got your GPS location services you can turn on here. And yeah, it is tied to the fitness app. So when you do a run or a walk or whatever, you'll be getting the track from the GPS recorded as opposed to it calculating distance from steps. Cellular SIM in there. You've got data here, airplane mode. This is your twist your wrist to see the time. Of course, outdoors you don't need that because you're going to see the time no matter what, but you got that capability. Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, all of that there. Your basic cleanup for the whole thing. Music player, one more goes into your weather. You've got notifications when you're tethered to your phone. Yes, I'm sorry to tell you, it still uses the Y-Watch 2 tethering app as all Android watches do. If there's one thing that needs improvement, it's that silly app. We've got incredible apps for tiny little fitness bands out there, and we don't have a decent app yet for smartwatches. But when it's updated, all of your Android watches will suddenly be able to do all the new capabilities that tethering app will do. And yep, Pablo 11 is working hard to get revisions to the firmware and revisions to that app implemented. And he is tied in directly with Jason on the firmware that's going on in this watch and the updates to it. So when you get in here to the app drawer, first of all, I want to show you how smooth it is. 3 gigabytes of RAM is very helpful, 32 gigabytes of storage. It's got some core apps and it's got some new ones that I've just installed for play. Let's run through the core apps. They're all the basics. Contact, phone, and messaging have to do with the SIM card. As you know, Android 7 watches don't yet support Bluetooth calling like the old Android 5.1 watches did. So you are not able to tether to your phone and make and receive phone calls talking through your watch, but making the call through your phone. You have to do it with a separate SIM in here. You got your settings, download, clock, camera. We showed you that. We activated the camera from a watch face, but otherwise you would need to slide over, scroll down, tap camera to get into the cameras. So it's so cool that touch button faces are coming out now that have these capabilities built into them. Gallery for that, music, sound recorder, file manager, your heart rate monitor, your fitness, and we showed you this. When you get into it, you've got all of your different activities that you can do, and you scroll over. If you've recorded anything, they'll show here, and you come over here is where you can turn on GPS. And when you're done, you just end a session, and it saves all of that stuff. Your weather update stuff. Voice search, now a little bit about this. Voice search is kind of basic Google, and when you tap it, you get into the equivalent of the OK trigger word, followed by Google, and you have a woman's voice talking to you. You can do way more than voice search. You can change things like set volume to maximum if you want to, or that kind of stuff is available. And you can install the Google Assistant on this one, which doesn't come stock in it, but is easy to install from the Google Play Store. So you go in, set up your account in the Play Store, and install Assistant, accept everything, train it on your voice. You can do the whole OK trigger directly on the watch, and of course you can do in-context activity, like it gives you a restaurant name and number and you just say dial it and it knows which restaurant because the number is there. That whole assistant thing. Not this assistant, mind you, by the way, it's got Google Maps as well. This assistant is the assistant for connecting to your phone. You use this QR code when you scan it with the app, and that'll connect you up with that. And then you can do things like remote camera, remote music, send and receive files, find your missing phone. All of that's been lumped into Assistant. Yes, it comes with Google Chrome installed in it, so you're tied in with the browser there instead of that crazy Chinese browser, named browser that's usually in there that when you search on something comes back in Chinese. Yeah. Calculator. This is the Google calculator. Jason's refining what calculator is going to be on here. I won't go into detail on that, but that's in the works. This is the Google Calendar as opposed to that crazy useless one. And this may or may not come stock. If it doesn't, just install it from the Google Play Store, because he's with the help of Pablo 11 down in Australia. By the way, he's doing great. If you guys know him and you're worried about him, he's back in his house. They survived the fire. He's got internet. He's back online. Anyway, Pablo 11 is managed to work around that restriction that you could not install Google Calendar on these watches because the other calendar, the stock one, was named the same thing and they would conflict. Blah, 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 blah. That's gone. That old calendar's gone. There's a hole here for calendar. If it doesn't ship with one, just install your choice of calendar. But if you install Google Calendar, you can integrate it, of course, through your entire Google domain, your computer, your phone, whatever. Hangouts is not normally on there. I've got that because I use that to talk with my team, and it works with the front-facing camera. And while you're live on Hangouts, you can switch from the front-facing camera to the forward-facing camera if you want, and back seamlessly. Even though they're 8 megapixels on this one and 5 megapixels on this one, it does it. YouTube doesn't come stock, but you can easily install it. System optimization, we're going to get back to that. This is cool. I really want to tell you guys about this one because what you're looking at on this watch has been influenced by this one. The fonts seem pretty large and readable here, don't they? It's not because it's a 320 by 320 screen compared to a 400 by 400 AMOLED screen. It's because I increased the fonts. Yep, and that's what you can do in big font. You can change the font size throughout everything in your watch if they're too small to read, which for me they kind of are, especially the subfonts of the subfonts, like when you get into system and look at the build number, those kind of things. I recommend 125%. I've tried 150, it's just too big. Your weather overlaps when you go in there, just too big. 125 is what you're looking at here. Works great. Google Fit does not come with it, but I installed it to play with. There's the Google Assistant with those dots. By the way, a lot of the active faces coming out now with the touch buttons, if they have the ability to activate the OK trigger word Google thing, it's going to be through Assistant. So you're going to want to install Assistant anyway. And this is a point where I want to mention to you guys, whether you get a Genesis or a Prime or an Optimus Pro or any of those, they sometimes come in two different configurations, 3 gigabytes and 32 gigabytes, or 1 gigabyte and 16 gigabytes. Don't get the 1 gigabyte kind. Assistant won't work on it. It needs a minimum of 2 gigabytes. So I don't know that this is going to come out in the lower memory, lower price range. It might. But I would suggest highly that you stick with 3 gigabytes, 32 gigabytes. Gboard is the Google keyboard. I'm going to be playing with that on here as well. It's got the nice larger screen than those standard 400 by 400 pixel 1.39 inch watches. And the thing about Google keyboard is you get the microphone on the side. And as you probably know, the microphone that comes in the stock keyboard, or the keyboard that comes, does not have the microphone ability in it. And a lot of times, if you're in Wi-Fi zone and you've got that whole thing set up, it's a lot easier to dictate into your field or whatever you're trying to type in than to try to type. I'm putting you on another watch face that's one of Al Rod's that's got Genesis and his logo. Look at that. He's got this sword with wings logo that he's put on everything, including his charging dock. And now he's got it on his watch face as well. So really a dressy system all put together here. Couple more, then we're going to get out of here. Here's another really nice digital one, all interfaced together. I really like it when you can get your percentage of battery usage right off of the screen. And then this is a fun one that a lot of hands have been on this one. I've been involved in it from the beginning. Al Rod's picked it up and played with it. And it's a really nice and true 24-hour clock. So it's about, 5 till 12 right now. And 12 noon is down here, full sunshine, dusk, dawn, and midnight. And there's 22, 23, 24. So shades from nighttime to sunlight. It's just a really overall nice, professional-looking face on here. We're going to toss that one in the package too, so hopefully we'll see all of these in the production version of this watch as stock faces. You won't have to download them. They're going to come installed on the watch. And that's part of the overall teamwork that you've got with Australia and I think Portugal and United States and China, all of us each working together, putting this thing together. One last thing, the box. Did you notice when I showed you the box that I showed you all different parts of it except one side? You're right, that was this one. Because Jason, the owner and creator of this watch from KronosBlade, yours truly, Mr. Tix of smartwatchtix.com, and the benefit of being able to reach you guys globally this way through YouTube are all highlighted. I'm pretty highlighted right now myself on his packaging here. So once again, by way of summary, you are looking at the Genesis smartwatch, Genesis 1, G1, whatever you want to call it, with a front-facing camera and a forward-facing camera on the left side in the ideal positions for wearing this thing on your left arm. It's got 4G cellular capability in here. You can put a nano SIM in there to make it happen. It ships with 32 gigabytes of storage and 3 gigabytes of RAM. By the way, the charging dock, when you slap it in here and you hook your wire to your computer, you can do data transfer. Data transfer is supported in the dock and, of course, in the independent wire as well. And that's how you can load up your 32 gigabytes of RAM, ROM, and put in watch faces, music, videos, whatever you want. You're looking at a 1.6-inch transflective or reflective screen. That means that when you're out in the sunlight, it does not get washed out as AMOLED screens do. Instead, it gets brighter. It changes to black and white, but it gets brighter. So it's perfect for camera work and taking pictures outdoors. We're Android 711, Bluetooth, I believe 4.0, 8 megapixel scenic or landscape camera here, and 5 megapixel, 2 megapixel up interpolated to 5, which gives you high enough resolution on video chat to really look good, but not so much as this one to show all your pimples, right? An 800 milliamp hour dock charger. That's the battery inside of this one. I believe this is 700 and some odd. I should have the specs listed down below or a link to the digital version of the user's manual as soon as it's available. So check the show notes to get the complete specs. This is prototype, folks. We're 2 months away probably from actual delivery of production units. So we're really at the very cutting edge. And it says may include the wireless earbuds. And like I said, wherever I put them, they will be coming in the package for the early folks that pre-register to get a unit from the first production. After that, it's going to be an add-on option if you want to have it in here. And yeah, again, without harping it too much, the front-facing 12 o'clock scenic patented camera on this smartwatch. Whoo! You've been watching Smartwatch Ticks. We're a YouTube channel on the web at smartwatchticks.com. Did I mention it comes with 2 leather bands and the nice soft TPU silicone kind of band with holes in it that breathes easily. Quick release disconnects. Going to have that on here too. These were just the first ones, but they're coming with the same kind of setup on it. What else can I say? Check the show notes. A buying link. $150 is the introductory price for this entire thing. That includes all of this. After that, it's going to pump up to $185 for the set after the 45 days expires. So go into his website, KronosBlade.com, and just click the order button, and you can fill out the form and put in your pre-order right there. Docks. The special charging dock? No, I already know your question. No, this is a very unique design. They all are. I do not expect that this will work with any other watch. If I find one, I'll let you know, and then I guess you could buy the dock from Jason and use your Lympho or Z-Blaze or whatever watch if it will fit in here and charge. But as far as I've seen, all of these watch companies use proprietary docks or just the bare wires. So for now, I can tell you this is going to be exclusive for here. But you can get an extra one for $25. These will be about $40. We'll do something in a little while. We're going to test these things out, run them through their paces, tether them to the watch so I can check out the sound. Definitely, if you're going to put a SIM card in this is great. Have Bluetooth earbuds tethered to your watch, make and receive phone calls, listen to music, and use this silly thing to charge this, and use this silly thing on your arm to charge that. What a system! Jason, you're a genius. So much fun working with you. We will see you again, gang. Thanks for watching, and have a great day. Oh yeah, I promised I'd show you what it looks like with another band on. Here's the stitched brown leather band, and of course rubberized underneath so you won't sweat all over it. And while we were chatting, Alrod, who's in Portugal, I found out for sure, he came back and he updated a couple of these watch faces. There's this one, and it's not active at all no matter where you touch it. But I said, hey, Alrod, these are really cool faces, and we're doing a special watch here that is, by the way, this is one you can download just from the server. I wanted to check and make sure that's working, and it's working fine. I said, we really want to make these faces work well for camera use because, well, that's the main thing, the outdoor screen and the front-facing landscape. Now notice, I've installed his new faces, and I'm going to hit this, and that resequenced everything. So you're going to see his new faces show up right now. I haven't even looked at him yet. Anyway, I said, let's put the camera button on that face and that face. So they're hidden, but somebody could get into the camera like instantly. And here they are. Here we go. Here's this feature face, which I guess you guys have noticed because I leave it on the screen long enough. Not only does it have this nice optical illusion, this sort of looks like a camera iris opening, but the digital time is jumping every 10 seconds or so, changing colors, time with seconds, and you got your inner data right there. And lo and behold, if you tap the center, he says, there we go. Now we're on the camera. And notice I have it on my right hand. And guess what? No matter whether you're left hand or right hand, because the camera is on the top, you're going to be able to take great pictures either way. Yep. And we also have that now. Uh-oh, there's 2 of them in there. I got to mess around with that to change that a little bit. Let's see. Where's the other one? Here we go. Oh, no, the 2 of them was because there's 2 of them, right? I put the new one in. This one, Where do you think you activate the camera? Of course, in the minutes. It's 12:27. There it is in digital or analog, and I touched that, and now I'm back into the camera. Yes, I have a fire extinguisher in the corner. Everybody should have one right near their door. I didn't even notice that. Sorry for the wires all over the floor. I obviously have not set up the studio for this, but I'm so excited. Alrod's got us a couple more creative faces. These will be in here replacing the other ones. All the other ones are in here. Some of them don't have any active buttons like this, but we wanted to have a few that can take you right into the camera. Now we're done. Got the bands. By the way, you can pick up the bands extra if for some reason you want more of the brown or black bands for $10. Again, just order them directly from Jason. And as he said, he will answer and reply to every comment that comes to him, and he only uses fast shipping. So even though there's a couple of months before the production units are going to be ready, so you order it now so you can get from the first set, and it might be 2 months before they ship, they'll get to you within a week. It's not going to be typical slow, 6 to 8 weeks shipping. So the delay is on the production side, but you will still get it. If you aren't ready yet and you want to wait, make sure everything's copacetic, you can order them later, but of course the price will be much higher. Your choice. We'll see you again soon. Now, I told you at the beginning you're going to want to read this. Was I right? Well, here it is again.